Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
Well, good morning, one and all. Happy Wednesday. It is now 6:07 a.m. on News Talk 105.9 WMAL. We are making sense of the news. Listen, I'm sitting here. Got my homemade. My friend, you didn't see this, Julie. My buddy made me an on-air sign with his 3D printer. I got that turned on. I'm very excited about this. Yes, I tweeted it out. You'll see it on Twitter. Listen, we got all kinds of things happening on the show today, jam-packed as we always are. Later on in this hour, Cal Thomas. Love talking to Cal Thomas on a Wednesday. He's got a new column out. Chat with him about that. The next hour, obviously, we had this Cloudflare outage yesterday. Massive amounts of panic. No, Julie and I did not break the internet yesterday. Or at least, listen, actually, I say this. Maybe Morgan Wright is going to tell us differently. Maybe we did break it yesterday, Julie. Josh Christensen, who is the bureau chief, DC bureau chief for the New York Post, going to be joining us as well in the next hour. And Tom Rousey from WJLA ABC Stephan to talk about the Metro bus fare evasion issue. I don't know how you evade fares on a bus. You're getting on a bus. Like, I don't know about anybody else. You get on the bus, you get a fare.
That's sweet.
You pay the fare. I know. It's amazing. And then, of course, this fight that's brewing in Fairfax about this building of the house. By the way, the data center issue, Julie, continues to plague all kinds of areas. There's a huge pushback down near Richmond about this. Heather, at some point I may talk to you because my buddies with the Battlefield Commission, they are gearing up for a fight as well. But listen, setting all of those things aside, we talked about it yesterday. Still snarling traffic around D.C. The 12th Street Tunnel was, I think, at least as of yesterday, was going to be closed until tomorrow morning, which is big for me because I tend to use that tunnel. I don't know if you ever use the 12th Street Tunnel, but I use that all the time. That's really how I get in and out of D.C. or into D.C. But the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia came and met with Donald Trump yesterday. Big summit about this. And, of course, the press had to just go there and talk about the Khashoggi issue, and it's causing huge issues with this. Ironically, by the way, John Bolton being one of the president's defenders here. Let's go ahead and play cut number 5, Michael. Here is Mary Bruce from ABC talking about...
Can I say something before we play this cut really quickly? Yeah. Mary Bruce, by the way, was one of those reporters that submitted her questions ahead of time to the Biden administration. They had pictures of her on these little cards they would give Biden with the question and the picture of her and her name, these cheat sheets. But again, these reporters who are so I just want to upfront this. These reporters who are so aggressive and so rude in the White House with Donald Trump were so gentle with Biden and, in fact, submitted their questions ahead of time and didn't veer away from it. No, they asked the exact question that they submitted so that they could prep the corpse, President Biden. And that's the thing, right, is that it would have been, if you're doing a reporter, the minute the White House tells you to submit your questions in advance, that's the story. You should walk out. Well, also, but that's the story. That's the story. Exactly. And so just where you're listening to Mary Bruce here, aggressively, question the president. Just remember how she acted when it was President Biden. Yeah. These people are all on the same team. They're all Democrats. These reporters are just stenographers for the Democrat Party. I know our listeners know that, but just keep that in mind when you're listening to her.
So here's the first cut. Let's play cut number 5.
Mr. President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious. You are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
No, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question. I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Yeah, so there you go, and this is the debate. What did MBS know? What did the Saudi government? Were these rogue intelligence agencies?
Fine,
go ahead, Julie.
Fine, these are fine. Fine.
Yes.
Whatever. It's just we are 10 minutes from the Biden administration where these reporters couldn't ask a hard question to save their lives, and then Mary Bruce walks in there with ABC News and is throwing around these questions when she was willing to give her questions to Biden's press secretary ahead of time. It's revolting to see this kind of aggressive questioning of President Trump when she was soft pedaling every question to Biden and, in fact, giving the questions ahead of time.
By the way, I love how the two questions are like completely separate from one another. Right. Mr. Trump, why are you a corrupt SOB doing this? And your family's a corrupt SOB. And oh, by the way, MSB, why are you a murderer? It's like the worst kind of like juxtaposition I get. She's trying to get her questions in. And then we're now back to the questions about 9/11. Let's go ahead and play cut number 6.
Mr. President, if you allow me to answer. I feel painful about the families of 9/11 in America, but we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation. That's the purpose of 9/11. So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia, it's bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism. And we have to approve him wrong and to build our relation, to continue developing our relation. It's critical in the safety of the world. It's critical against extremism and terrorism. About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or nothing illegal way. And it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc. in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that. And it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Listen, take it for what it's worth, but John Bolton was on a podcast interview yesterday, radio interview yesterday, sort of defending, not sort of out and out defending this Saudi position and talking about the intelligence and whether or not the intelligence was good intelligence that the Saudi royal family knew about or orchestrated the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. So, but listen, again, take John Bolton for what it's worth there. Listen, we will continue. We're going to continue to have this conversation, talk about the summit, the meeting yesterday. Lots more audio, but first, it is 6:15 a.m. WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes, first on the 5s. Here's Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
All right, and on that note, really important to mention that, again, like yesterday morning, because of the official movements and the dignitary visits, the 12th Street Tunnel Expressway remains shut down until tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, and that caused huge delays once we got into our rush hour yesterday. So for now, we're doing okay, but once the rush hour gets going, that's going to pick up the volume. All right, better news, Beltway, New Carrollton, they just cleared the crash to the shoulder. If you are in delays heading on the outer loop to the BW Parkway back near Route 50, that should be improving. 66 east at the Beltway, incident reported. 95 north, we're jammed out of Lorton to the crash at the Beltway along the right side. Now, from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
So watch out for the patchy fog this morning as you're on your commute. It's going to burn off today. It's going to be mostly cloudy with highs in the low 50s. Tonight, mostly cloudy Lows around 40. It'll be in the 30s in the suburbs. Tomorrow, cloudy with highs in the low 50s once again. Friday, chance of rain, cloudy, highs in the upper 50s. Saturday, also morning rain, mostly cloudy, highs in the low 60s. Sunday, mostly sunny. It's going to be a nice day on Sunday, highs near 57. Right now in your nation's capital, it's 46 degrees at 6:17 a.m.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
I appreciate Eileen making it clear that 12th Street tunnel is still closed, because I know that's the way a lot of folks get in here. So yeah, John Bolton defended Trump's defense of the Saudis there. Let's hear this again. This is the short clip. Donald Trump responding to the issue of this is what's spurred the controversy about the Khashoggi murder. Let's go ahead and, Michael, play cut 5A.
A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that.
And it went on and on.
Look, just really quickly on the Khashoggi issue, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Khashoggi was not a good guy, okay?
Yes.
But nobody should be okay with how he was murdered, violently, and dismembered. It was a horrifying death. And so I just want to make that clear. Look, maybe the Crown Prince didn't know about it. I think Trump handled that question well. But I do take a moment to say that, Trump kind of saying this was a bad guy.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure you're so bad. You deserve that kind of extrajudicial killing. I will also.
He was not Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Yes.
I'm just against murder. Period.
That's a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
I just want to mention that again, I think you can say that Khashoggi wasn't exactly a good guy, but we don't really want people killed in that manner. I'd like to switch over to a more shallow topic, if you don't mind,
sure.
From dismembering to, oh my gosh, did Melania, the First Lady, look beautiful last night? That jewel.
What I love is she didn't look like a couch. Like Jill Biden. Well, Jill Biden used to wear these outfits.
Oh, that's right.
She looked like 1970s
the chintz. That's right. That's right. Or she looked like she was just jumping out of Minecraft.
Dr. Jill Biden.
Yeah,
yes.
Get that right, Andrew.
Yeah, I know.
Melania looked beautiful. And because, they had a state dinner last night. Melania looked absolutely stunning. But although, is that really news? Has this woman ever had a bad day? Does she wake up looking this good? I believe so. Anyway, so she looked gorgeous. Sort of off the shoulder jewel green dress, just stunning. And another thing about the state dinner last night, guess who was back at the White House, Andrew?
Who was back at the White House, Julie?
Elon Musk.
Oh, there you go. Very nice. Yes, I see this.
Happy.
Look at that.
Which makes me happy.
Yes.
Right? Just as they're about to release the Epstein file, because, they had this, he and Trump had this big fight, and then he said, comments about Trump being in the Epstein files. So kind of an interesting
we're right, especially right after the vote happens. It all happens at the same time.
And he was pictured there. He looked like he was having a lovely time. He took some selfies with Cristiano Ronaldo, who's a very good-looking soccer player, I might say. Anyway, looked like a lovely evening, and I cannot wait till they have the ballroom ready.
And the big announcement, of course, yesterday is that Saudi Arabia will be designated a major non-NATO ally, and that is huge, huge news as we've been talking about this. In fact, let's go ahead and hear cut number 8.
So that's why tonight I'm pleased to announce that we're taking our military cooperation to even greater heights by formally designating Saudi Arabia as a major non-NATO ally, which is something that is very important to them. And I'm just telling you now for the first time, because I wanted to keep a little secret for tonight. I just heard him say, "Oh, that's nice. That's another point you won today." And signing a historic strategic defense agreement, which we just signed a little while ago. So congratulations at South Carolina.
And what that means is they will be able to enter into cooperative R&D programs with the DoD and allowing Saudi firms to bid on outside of continental United States DoD maintenance contracts. This is, by the way, also really, really important because there's an interesting study, Julie, out of William & Mary's Global Research Institute's AID data program. and they do a lot of tracking of China's funding of projects around the world and China's lending. And one of the things that they've pointed out is that the U.S. is a huge recipient of Chinese capital financing. Like, I'm not surprised at this, but it is something we need to note here. Better to have the cooperative approach with Saudi Arabia. Oh, and the other reason why this is a major issue, because it really does make them a partner in pushing for peacetime normality with other non-NATO allies who happen to be in the region. Among them, by the way, Israel. So that's a very important tool there. So yeah, I mean, listen, I think this Saudi summit is a success. I think you would agree with that, Julie, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I think this is a success, and yet another reason that he deserves the Peace Prize. He'll never get it, but he is bringing stability and peace around the globe, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. He won't get it from the press. He won't get it from some of the folks questioning him in the Oval Office yesterday, but we certainly appreciate it here.
Without a doubt, we do. Listen, we've got so much more to get to, but first, it is 6:22 right here on WMAL. In just a couple minutes, we're going to break down the announcement of the new alliance with the Saudis and the summit that Donald Trump had with them, and then, of course, what happened with the Epstein files, and we're going to talk about whether or not America is ready for a female president. Cal's got a column on that. So much more to come on O'Connor and Company. It is 6:30.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
Well, hey there, everybody. It is 6:37 a.m. on News Talk 105.9 WMAL. We are making sense of the news. A good Wednesday to one and all. I am Andrew Langer in for Larry O'Connor today. Larry is traveling, sitting alongside Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
We got all kinds of stuff going on the show. In the 7 a.m. hour, Morgan Wright, who's a cybersecurity expert, is going to talk to us about the Cloudflare outage yesterday. No, Julie and I did not break the internet, or did we? Stay tuned to find out. Josh Christensen, who's the D.C. bureau chief of the New York Post, is going to talk about what we've now learned about Thomas Crooks, who tried to kill President Trump last summer. Tom Rousey from WJLA ABC 7 joining us in the 8 a.m. hour to talk about the efforts to reduce metro fare bus invasion. And yeah, as I said, I'm sitting alongside Julie. Hello, Julie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Because this is O'Connor Company. And joining us both right now, it really is always so much fun. It's one of the best things about sitting in for Larry is I got a chance to talk to someone I admire greatly. His name is Cal Thomas. He is a syndicated columnist. You can find him on X at Cal Thomas, C-A-L Thomas. And so Cal, listen, let's start here. Hey, let's play this, Michael. Here's Michelle Obama said she won't waste her time running for president. This just sounds bitter. Go ahead and play that cut, Michael.
As we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it.
Right. This is why we have elected governor after governor who's a woman, and we've got women in the senior position. I mean, this is just nonsense. Maybe Michelle, maybe we just didn't like Kamala, and maybe we just don't like you. Cal, your thoughts here? Are we ready for a female president?
Well, sure, Andrew. And, Michelle Obama's had a privileged life. She's the only person I know who has two chips on her shoulders. She grew up I've got a column coming on this tomorrow. It'll be in the Washington Times and my other newspapers. I just think she's totally wrong. The problem is that the women who have run, Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, were not appealing to a majority of voters. Polls show that Hillary Clinton was unlikable, and of course Kamala Harris was a word salad. She couldn't articulate anything that she believed in. She couldn't even answer a question what she would do different from Joe Biden. So if you've got a qualified and I would say conservative female candidate for president, somebody with the philosophy and worldview of a Margaret Thatcher, say, I'd vote for her in a minute, even though my wife leads me all the way here, you know.
Well,
Just kidding.
It really has been amazing to watch Michelle Obama. She's been going on a series of these interviews. She does these events. She does these podcasts where she just complains nonstop. Her latest, aside from this one, was saying that beauty standards are somehow defined by white women and how black women have to straighten their hair to please white women. And she acts as though, you know, she sort of, it's really cringy. She sort of says, you know, I am a strong, beautiful black woman. And she acts as though there haven't been beautiful black women who have really emerged as, you know, in the 60s and 70s, even before that, that there were stars in Hollywood that were black women. And she acts like this is something new, or that black women don't have their own beauty standards that they control. It's a very bizarre sort of victimization mentality she has.
Well, yeah, it's bizarre because she's been on the cover of virtually every fashion magazine in the world, whereas
she did
a
iCarly.
real model. Right. Whereas Melania Trump, a real model, has not been on any of them. This is about politics. I want to go back to something else that relates to your first question, Andrew. When Michelle Obama says, basically accuses the country of sexism and that they'd never elect a woman president, that's what was said about John F. Kennedy. We'd never elect a Catholic president. And we've had, of course, Kennedy and Joe Biden, who are both candidates. And then, of course, people said we could never elect a black president, and we had Obama with huge numbers of white people voting for him in 2 elections. So that's just wrong on its face, statistically and morally.
Let me tell you, I would vote for the corpse of Margaret Thatcher. 6 days a week and twice on Sunday. I would vote for Liz Truss for president of the United States. I would have gladly pulled the lever for Condoleezza Rice if she had run for president. But no, it's as I said, we don't like you. So
it's not about race or gender. It's about politics. And
100%.
A liberal is a liberal, whether they're black, female, gay, or whatever. Tell me about your policies. Don't tell me about your gender and race.
Or tell me what you're going to do differently than President Biden. So we had the vote yesterday, Cal. The vote on the Epstein file release. We had this sort of bizarre Stacey Plaskett situation happening. What do you make of what was going on?
Well, I think it's a distraction. I mean, if there had been anything linking Donald Trump, and this was 20 or more years ago, that he cut Epstein off from Mar-a-Lago and any relationship at all. But if there had been anything implicating him with underage girls or any other girls, for that matter, of any age, it would have come out now through his 3 campaigns. I think the Democrats have lost on the issues, and so this is all they've got. It's really pathetic. Plus, I'm worried, as some others are, about the victims who don't want to be exposed. I hope that these records become public, then the women who don't want to be outed will not be named and their names redacted. Those who were up on Capitol Hill yesterday, that's fine. If they wanted their names out there, I have no problem with that. But those who have families now and who want to put all of that behind them in the past, they should be protected.
Well, there you go, Cal. Real quick, because we got about a minute left. The Saudi prince, the crown prince, this new alliance. What are your thoughts here?
That was a love-in the extreme. I think for the president to claim that MBS didn't have any knowledge or didn't order the assassination of the Washington Post columnist Khashoggi just isn't true. It goes against what the U.S. intelligence agency said. But he wants a deal for these F-35 jets, which I'm really concerned about because of the possible Chinese access to them. And he wants $1 trillion investment in the United States, and he wants the Nobel Peace Prize. Other than that, it was a great meeting.
Well, there you go. Well, Cal Thomas, listen, we love reading you. You got a new column out in the Washington Times tomorrow. Thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Andrew and Julie. Bye.
So much more to get to. It's 6:44 on WMAL.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 till 9 on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, Julie. Were you aware? I'm not sure anybody was aware of this, but Kamala Harris has a book out, And if only she would do a book tour to promote it. I mean, oh, I'm sorry. That's right. She is doing a book tour.
Oh, yes.
The reason why I was confused is because this seems to be, as our producer points out, Heather Hunter had pointed out last night on X, somebody please end this book tour already. Who did I say? Was it Michelle Obama? Did I not say Oh, there you go. Kamala Harris also is on a never-ending book tour, it seems. Michelle Obama is out on this book tour, and it is exhausting. And so she was out.
It's not in any way a surprise that you got them mixed up, because these are two of the most insufferable women who think so highly of themselves.
Here's the thing. I'm going to actually give Michelle Obama greater credit than Kamala Harris, because Michelle Obama is actually, I think, smarter than Kamala Harris is. And so, anyway, here she is out, and apparently they're never seen out with she's never out with Barack Obama.
This is what we're about to play a cut of what I mentioned in the last hour or last with Cal about her complaining about beauty standards.
Yes.
So bizarre, Andrew. This is a woman who has been celebrated for her beauty and her big, strong arms for how long? I mean, decades.
Yes.
She's been on the cover of Vogue. You don't get more celebrated than the cover of Vogue. She's been on the cover of Vogue several times, not to mention every other magazine, from Red Book to Good Housekeeping to she has been, I mean, how many compliments do you need, Michelle Obama? Sorry, let's play cut 11.
Please.
Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim, and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting, and it's so expensive, and it takes up so much time.
All right, listen, I don't know much about women's hair, but I do know that for every woman, regardless of your ethnic background, your genetics, it is an expensive proposition, is it not, Julie Gunlock? Regardless of who you are, if you're a woman and you want to keep your hair looking nice, it's an expensive proposition.
The idea that first of all, can you imagine speaking to a group of women saying, or a group of people saying, "Hey, white people." I mean, this is not the way. I mean, what in the world? That's kind of racist.
100%.
Right? Can you imagine if a white woman got up and said, "Let me give a message to black women"? That is not appropriate according to their rules. Rules, okay? But this idea that we're straightening our hair to satisfy your beauty standards. First of all, we are not in charge of beauty standards. And the idea that black women are not considered beautiful and iconic in this country. You have, trying to think, Diana Ross, okay?
100%.
Angela Bassett, okay? Halle Berry. And not to mention all the black models over the years. This stretches back for years. This isn't something new. And for her to suggest that somehow white women are responsible for these horrible standards that black women have to keep up with is just bizarre.
You know something? There was a really great movie called Cry Freedom, which is Denzel Washington playing Stephen Biko and oh good Lord, can't think of the white white actor who's there. But anyway, it is about Stephen Biko, Kevin Kline, thank you, and the Black is Beautiful movement in South Africa, and the fight for racial justice that Stephen Biko was talking about. And he talks about the issue of trying to make sure that black children in South Africa have the identity of understanding, that they are beautiful. But that is the 1970s. Right? We are now almost 50 years later, and it seems like Michelle Obama is stuck in an era as though the last 50 years haven't happened, and that her husband wasn't.
Look up Iman. Maybe look up Beverly Johnson. These were very incredibly successful models in the 70s, and for her to suggest that somehow there has never been iconic black, beautiful women celebrated in this country is just crazy.
Yes, and by the way, thank you, Heather, for this. The Babylon Bee scientific algorithm determines the most oppressed person in history is Michelle Obama. It's 6:53.